So, I've been playing Oblivion Remastered. I made my guy Carvolo, got out of the sewer, fought in the arena a little bit, advanced the main quest a little bit, also visited Cheese upon Umbra. But really just scratched the surface. And then, I got that itch I usually get with games. I got it with Baldur's Gate 3, even though I haven't finished it. You better believe I got it with OBRE, because I did play old Oblivion. Time to mod. First of all, did you know Vortex works with Oblivion Remastered? I see a lot of videos suggesting putting the mods directly into the mod folder, like some kind of barbarian, not even tracking the mods they put in their load order. What? You don't know what a load order even is? Ugh, amateurs.
You're a disgrace to the game.
Vortex even puts the pack files in the right place. I'm not sure if MO2 has this ability yet. It didn't when I checked it out, which is why I decided to use Vortex. Just a note here, if you've ever used Vortex before, you know you'll have to go through a process to hard link your mods folder, but Vortex 100% guides you through the process. Just follow the prompts. Now, as you might know, Oblivion Remastered is basically running Oblivion in the Gamebryo engine, which would later be called the Creation Engine, so it's got all the jank you remember, with Unreal Engine 5 over top of it, handling the graphics and making it much more beautiful. And in some places it makes the NPCs look extremely uncanny.
The Grey Prince. It's kind of silly, I know, but...
Run when you can!
Looks like a Ren and Stimpy gross-up. Anyway, Creation Engine uses ESPs and BSAs. If you modded Oblivion or Skyrim, you'll be familiar with them. Unreal Engine uses pack files, which is a more commonly used archive. The problem with modding Oblivion Remastered currently is that pack files go into an Unreal Engine mods folder that is a completely different path to the Gamebryo mods folder. If the modder set up the folder path correctly in the archive, Vortex puts it in the right place, no problem. And from what I've seen, the modders are doing this correctly. Anyway, before you start modding, you'll most likely be needing two things. The Oblivion Remastered script extender, check the description of the mods you want to install, and if it's anything at least a little bit complex, you'll probably need it. And the UE4SS mod, which is the scripting platform for Unreal Engine and allows Unreal Engine to have its own mods too. Both of the aforementioned mods are unique because we will be manually installing them unlike anything else. But this is pretty typical. Both of these mods get dumped into the Oblivion Remastered /Oblivion Remastered /binary /Win64, which will be slightly different if you have the Game Pass version. You want to make sure they're in the same folder as the Oblivion Remastered -Win64 shipping.exe, which is the actual Oblivion Remastered exe. Copy the contents of both of the archives directly into this folder. If you don't have Oblivion Remastered installed into, Steam Apps, Common, whatever, navigate to your Oblivion Remastered game folder and just follow the latter half of the address all the way down to Oblivion Remastered Win64 shipping.exe. And now you're ready to install most mods into Vortex. Just drag and drop. Don't forget to read the descriptions and get all the requirements for everything you install. I even had a mod tell me to do a console command to get it to work. And you might not want to add all your mods at once, just go through a few at a time to make sure it doesn't crash the game. Regular modding stuff. Anyway, so that's basically it for Oblivion Remastered modding. A better YouTuber would make this into a separate video, but I'm going to share some mods I like. Seems like everybody had their week of glazing Oblivion Remastered on YouTube, but now is when the modders are really starting to cook. Here's a quick rundown of the mods everybody else is putting on their essential list. Difficulty slider fixed, so there's not a jump from Adept at 1 times damage to 3.5 times damage at the next level up. Horse whistle, so you can just summon your horse like a modern RPG. Quest NPCs Run, so you don't have to wait forever for those jerks while they walk. Simple, faster horses, so horses are actually worth riding at 10% faster. Or you can just set av speed number in the console and skip this one. Alternate start lets you skip the tutorial dungeon. Ayleid Reshade makes the world look bright and colorful like in the original game. Ultra quality 4K all world maps makes the maps legible. Can you believe we already passed 2,000 mods? Ultimate engine tweaks to reduce stuttering, visual glitches, and improve performance. Better Oblivion Crisis makes Daedra roam the world once the Oblivion gates start opening. It makes sense that angry demon invaders wouldn't stay in their lane and stay put in Oblivion when there is an invasion on. Auto local map, because why would I want to get on the world map every time and have to scroll into the local map? Here are some of my additional favorites, and of course you know, I'm focused on making the combat less Oblivion-y. Unlike a lot of the vanilla Oblivion enjoyers. You've seen my Skyrim setup, haven't you? I like action RPGs. I like my skill to be rewarded. The original Oblivion is probably one of the worst offenders at not having reactive dynamic combat, in the Elder Scrolls series that is. It becomes the classic flail until the enemy falls down. And already just a week out, we've got a bunch of mods that make it feel a lot better. Of course, the people at Virtuo Studios played their part also. They made combat a little bit better. And I do want to mention that original Oblivion had a dodge, which was news to me. I never realized it existed or used it. Anyway, Time Block adds the ability to perform a time block and take no damage, giving combat more strategic depth. Hitstop. I like that the good people at Virtuo added reactions to enemies and the player being hit, so the hits feel chunky and the people get knocked back slightly when you hit them. But we can go further. Hitstop gives a brief slowing down effect when you hit an enemy, making combat even more impactful. Now, I didn't use Hitstop in Skyrim because we got Precision, which gives you accurate collisions on top of hit reaction. We're not quite there with Oblivion Remastered yet. Don't get me on a tangent with Precision because it was reverse engineered from a VR mod. Crazy story. Anyway, did you know Acrobatics 25 gives you the ability to dodge? So you can get a dodge right out of the gate in Oblivion. Even old Oblivion had that. That was news to me. What you might not know is that it's kind of clunky and doesn't give you iframes. Dodge iframe gives you the ability to add iframes to the dodge, so it's actually useful. And you know how I said it was clunky? Well, the dodge also sucks because you have to block, hold a direction, and press jump, which is unwieldy as heck. One button dodge turns your 3-button dodge into a 1-button dodge. I mean 2 if you count the directional button you gotta press. Natively it's mouse button 5, I changed it to mouse button 4 to match my DMCO setup from Skyrim. I would suggest keeping it something on the mouse just because it's very unwieldy to have to crane your fingers on a keyboard, pressing a direction and a dodge button with the same hand. That's why on a controller, generally, you press circle with your right hand and then use the left directional stick with your left hand. Alright, Wonger's Shield on back. Put your shield on your back when you sheath, instead of you holding a 30-pound shield while you're hanging out at an inn. If you're using the SML version of the mod, which I am because it doesn't work with Vortex supposedly, you'll have to enable the mod in-game by opening the console and pasting the following string, which is also in the description and the readme of the mod. Auto upgrade leveled items simply gives you the higher level version of weapons and armor as you level up. I don't know if I'm going to be using this, honestly, but it is an option for the people who don't want to have to search out a new and impressive weapon and throw away the Daedric artifact you got at level 1. Enhances verisimilitude. Think of it as a legacy weapon from D&D. You're not strong enough to wield the full power of the Umbra at level 1, but as you grow in power, so too does the weapon unlock its own power. Anyway, that's just my headcanon. Also anyway, I guess that's it for today. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. Hey, tell me in the comments or I guess on my Discord if you all want me to start doing Let's Plays of Oblivion Remastered. But I'll be honest with you, there is no way I can approach my Skyrim setup for storytelling. There are many more mods, and they don't have anything like Proteus over here, which allows you to load multiple characters into the same save file, and that's how I have my different characters talking to each other in the same save file. But I do have an idea or two for like a little story. Skyrim's also got so many quest mods. There's like over 9,000 of them, I'm pretty sure. About 300 or 400 which are extremely good. Anyway, so long and thanks for watching.